Hello and welcome back to another Bad Comic Review. Today we're looking at Scrimshaw issue 2 from Alterna Comics 2017, written by Eric Borden with Dave Mims, Spike Olanchida. Sorry, Spike, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Alright, so I was fairly tepid with the last issue as far as the art, but it's kind of growing on me. It's still not my thing, but it's tolerable. And I can see why some people like it. It's very, very stylistic, but the way they do some of the scenes is actually kind of cool. It's got a very unique look to it. On page 2, we get this flashback scene with the commander of security for the Tonto Corporation, and it's different wars he's been in and battles. And there's a couple of pretty cool panels where you see like the Japanese mountain range and some buildings and some battleships, things like that look really cool. I kind of like those scenes, so I guess the art is growing on me a little bit. At any rate, he goes out and hires the mercenary that was discussed in the previous issue to find the runaway horse and Hans and his crew. He finds them and offers them the deal to deport, which is a big deal because most of the world is water, and when you're a mercenary or a thug, you need to be out on the ocean doing mercenary thuggy stuff. Meanwhile, the runaway horse is out looking for what they call a behemoth, which is like a super whale, and they are trying to bring that in for food, which of course they do, and there is definitely some underlying environmental issues in these stories, which is fine. It's not too heavy-handed, but they do mention that they're dropping off some food for the flotillas, which is very altruistic, but they are like a fishing vessel with some thievery and piracy on the side, apparently. They get contacted by somebody looking to buy their cargo, which of course is the squid that was swiped last round. The pirates that are hired to go after them apparently know their location and are gearing up for combat, and they're really needing this job so they could deport and go out and get even. Now, that's the crux of the story. The commander is very upset that these pirate guys, mercenaries, whatever they are, got hired. I'm calling them pirates because that sounds cooler. They have him as like a subplot through most of the issue, and he does some fight scenes with some guys where he's training. Then he goes in and talks to the security guys, and he's going out there with 4 Oni Corps groups to try and stop them during the stop, because the Oni Corps are the best of the security forces. Now, it's interesting that they're juxtaposing these 3 different groups like this. You would think it would be kind of boring, but it really wasn't. It was a very fast-paced story, and even though I'm not a huge fan of the art style, I can see why people like it, and it worked okay for the story. Now, a lot of the panels are rather big, but I think that's more to highlight the art than anything else, and I don't think that actually hindered the storyline. Quite the opposite. I think it worked well with the story. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a recommend. The cover price is only $1.50 for the issue. It's from Alterna Comics. Like I said, they do these great newsprint issues, and the coloring process they're using is really good for newsprint, and it really has some real striking colors that pop out that you wouldn't have seen 20 or 30 years ago. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Alterna. They're really growing on me quite a bit. They've produced some really good books that I'm really excited to review. I just finished this one, and I thought I would review it real quick. I would have to say it's a go. The cover is a little misleading because I don't think that scene actually appears in there. But you get the idea. It definitely conveys the information pretty well. Then there is an ambush in the works, but it's more building up to issue 3. So it's a good build-up issue, a lot more character development for some of the bad guys, and I really liked where they're going with that. I'm going to recommend this one. I think it was a good book, and it was pretty entertaining. So if you get a chance to pick these up, definitely do so. At least get the first couple, see what you think. Alterna sells them on their website. You can get them through their Etsy store. I should put a link in the description. Hopefully I remember to do that so that you can get these. I know they are going to release these in a trade paperback at some point. If they haven't already, I haven't looked. I know they were talking about it. Of course, I would recommend reading an issue or 2 before you decide to commit to the trade paperback, but their trades are pretty cheap, so if you're really interested, just go for it. But yeah, definitely a good character development issue. It tells us a little bit more about our protagonists and their corporate enemies and kind of the world at large with some underlying environmental themes. That'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.